Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So here we go. The Lucasfilm Studio Showcase covered 5 different live action series and announced 3 movies, 2 of which we kind of knew about and 1 was utterly brand new, but let's dive in. First thing up was Andor, and yes, they showed a little bit of footage already. Tony Gilroy said that they are basically right in the middle of filming, that they expect to be done in August, and that their timetable kind of matches where they were when they were doing season 1. Basically, what that means is that we are, as we've talked about on the podcast, looking at an August 2024 release date. Right around there, basically, is when they would be ready to do it. The second live action series to get headline space in the showcase panel was The Acolyte, and Leslie Headland came out and talked about the show, welcomed what looked like the entire cast, including, very excitingly, Eunice Suetomo is back playing a new Wookiee, a different Wookiee than Burryaga. So yeah, if we're still wondering about Burryaga's fate from Phase 1 of the High Republic, this one ain't him. But anyway, yes, Eunice is playing a different Wookiee Jedi Master, which is really fun and exciting. And we found out that the production is still ongoing. They are still filming. Kathleen Kennedy says that she has already seen 4 finished episodes. We don't know how many episodes there are in the whole series yet, but she's seen 4 finished ones and says that Leslie's love for Star Wars is all over this thing. So that, of course, is really exciting to hear. They should be finishing their filming in May, and the little trailer footage that they showed us said it would be coming in 2024, but did not provide a month specifically. Next up was The Mandalorian, and Chapter 23 of The Mandalorian, they gave a little bit of a sneak preview of, and then told everybody that they could come back to watch all of Chapter 23 later that evening, which was very exciting. They didn't say anything about Season 4, however. It would have been fun to even get just a little bit of tidbits about that, but maybe because we're still in the midst of Season 3, I don't know. Jon Favreau is supposedly writing Season 4 if he's not done with it already, but yeah, we didn't get much in the way of forward-looking stuff necessarily for Mandalorian. At least nothing that, is basically under embargo for the next 5 days for all intents and purposes. Then we got Skeleton Crew, and we had Jude Law on stage and 3 of the 4 child actors that are going to be in it, along with a little bit of footage and no indication of when it's going to come out. They are already in post-production on this, so filming has been completed, which means that in theory, we could/should see it in 2023, but the fact that they didn't decide to announce a date for it, well, that puts me in mind of the whole, thing with Bob Iger about how, they want to consider slowing things down in terms of the stuff that they're posting on Disney Plus. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that we get a late 23 release like we did with the Book of Boba Fett, starting in, late in the year and then going into January and early February. That would be fantastic, of course, but yeah, no confirmation on that. And then finally, on the live action front, they had the Ahsoka series featured. So they showed a trailer for Ahsoka, which is public. They did actually release that one on the Star Wars YouTube channel. Mary Elizabeth Winstead was on the panel, and she was officially confirmed as playing Hera Syndulla. And although they didn't state these things outright, the conversation, and how Dave Filoni likes to play it coy, basically, but, his cast members are picking up on that too. And talking about how Ahsoka's been, after someone, and Sabine is interested in looking for someone, namely Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ezra Bridger, respectively. And in their own individual ways, both those characters appear in that trailer footage. Thrawn seen from behind, and Ezra seen in a hologram. And I'll say it was surprising to get a trailer for Ahsoka knowing that there's going to be a full-blown panel for Ahsoka tomorrow. So yeah, I guess that just means that they're going to have a lot more to show for the Ahsoka series, which would also, of course, be very exciting. And also, tell you, they did announce that it would be August of 2023 when the Ahsoka series comes out. They didn't give a specific date, but August of 2023. So we've got May, June, July, August, 4 months to wait. And then finally, they talked about Star Wars movies, and I've done the bonus episode about that already, but just to give you the brief rundown, James Mangold is going to direct a movie set 25,000 years before the Battle of Yavin at the dawn of the Jedi. He envisions it as a biblical epic and will feature the first Jedi, or the Prime Jedi as he's known in current canon storytelling. Dave Filoni, for his part, will direct his first feature film, and it will be the cinematic event that Kathleen Kennedy talked about back at the Disney Investor Day in 2020 that will tie up all of the TV series in the Mandoverse leading up to that climactic event, presumably also Thrawn related as well. And then Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy will be directing a movie set 15 years after the rise of Skywalker, focused on a new Jedi Order, and the Jedi Academy there is being led by none other than Jedi Master Rey Skywalker, aka Daisy Ridley, who is confirmed as returning to the franchise. And the only other storytelling related panel directly was about the making of Andor Season 1, which, as advertised, was mostly about Season 1. However, there was a question posed to Tony Gilroy about Season 2 and if he could say anything. And he said that, we all know that the movie is going to end with him getting on the ship to go to the Ring of Kafrane, like leading right into Rogue One. But Season 2 is basically going to tell the story of how he gets to that point, what it costs him, and to examine the idea of going through a journey that isn't necessarily self-directed. And I am paraphrasing that a little bit, but I think that's pretty much the gist of what he was saying. And he also talked about the 20 or 30 other characters, the other main characters, not main, but you get what I'm saying, as opposed to 190 different speaking roles for people in Season 1 of Andor, but like the top 20 or 30 characters all having their own little mini arcs and trying to land the plane on all of them all at once. So that, in a nutshell, is all of the storytelling related news from Friday at Star Wars Celebration Europe. And again, please check out the bonus episode that goes more in depth into the movie announcements, adding a little bit more context, talking about what could happen for 2025, and also what other movies are in development and what this whole announcement might mean for them. But for now, that is going to do it for this particular episode of the podcast, and it just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.